teams. I think it's a make or break game. That the team that wins it might be the team that gets in the playoff. The teams that loses that game, I think potentially would be out of the playoffs. I know it's early, but that's the kind of feeling I have for this game.
Well, the Steelers got to find a road win in the division somewhere because they've already coughed up the game at home against the Bengals. So to go and split with the Browns and the Ravens, that's going to be a problem unless you go to Cincinnati and win. And even then, I'm not really sure 3-3 in the division is going to cut it. Now, I think the AFC at large looks a little bit easier than it did a couple of weeks ago. The Broncos have lost 3 in a row, and it's looking more like 4. The Raiders did win last week, but, now with John Gruden gone, what's going on with that team? Questions abound there. The Patriots have not, with Mac Jones at quarterback, they have not taken advantage of a weak schedule. They only have 2 wins. So the potential is there for the wild card, Richie, but the deal is you can't finish in last place. The AFC North is not going to send 4 teams to the playoffs. At most, it's going to send 3. So you got to find a way to finish ahead of Cincinnati, Cleveland, or Baltimore. And right now, it looks like the Browns are probably the team that you have the best chance of leapfrogging, because I'm starting to think Cincinnati is going to get to 8 or 9 wins, Richie. I don't know about you, but more and more the Bengals' defense is much improved, and I think Burrow is already one of the best quarterbacks, probably a top 10 or top 12 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I'm anxious to see what happens in that Bengals-Ravens game, aren't you? I mean, I think
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think
I'll
they
say
have a
it right
chance
now.
to win
I think the Bengals go there and win. I don't think they're just going to cover on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I think they're going to win the game. They have a top 10 defense. It was very good here. They went to Pittsburgh. Burrow's got a connection with this wide receiver Chase from LSU, who won a national championship with. They didn't take the left tackle. They took the wide receiver instead with Boyd and Higgins and Mixon. Their tight end can make plays. Uzama. Their protection's been better than I thought it would be. The Steelers really didn't hit Joe Burrow as much as they should have in that game earlier this year. So I think Cincinnati is a dark horse to get into the playoffs, and their quarterback gives them a chance to win the division.
I was in Nashville for that Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Titans, and it was just nice watching 2 offenses. I mean, I just haven't seen.
Oh, congratulations on all your success. I didn't know that you were in the stadium for Monday Night Football. That must have been pretty cool.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty fun time. Went as a fan. I didn't go to cover the game or anything. Just went there, hung out, and watched the game. But I mean, it was just you could see them. Both offenses could move the ball, and I was just sitting there thinking, I haven't seen that yet with the Steelers outside of maybe 1 or 2 quarters this entire year.
Well, Tennessee has the best running back in the NFL. And say what you will about Najee Harris and his potential and what he's already shown in his first 6 games as a Steelers running back, but he's not Derrick Henry. I don't know how. Derrick Henry was a 2nd-round pick, Richie. I mean, if we're taking running backs in the 1st round, how does that freak, who was a Heisman Trophy winner at Alabama, how does he not go in the 1st round? How did the Steelers take a guy like Artie Burns over Derrick Henry?
Well, they had Le'Veon Bell at the time, right?
Yeah, but he was going into the last year of his contract. And then the next year they took James Conner in the 3rd round. So they were kind of looking for a running back. Remember in Tennessee, Deion Lewis was getting playing time over Derrick Henry at first. So, that's where their continuity comes from. They got this great running back. You want to talk about a running back that finds invisible yards? It's him, because he just runs people over. I don't really see that from Najee Harris. He's a nice complete package, but he doesn't have that run you over dump truck kind of running style that we see from Derrick Henry.
And the speed. He might be the biggest, most physical back, but also the fastest guy too.
Yeah, and the speed. Absolutely.
And the one thing.
The Steelers have a good back. They don't have a great one like him.
The one thing that I did notice too, I don't know if I would have said this up until this year, maybe towards the end of last year. I think I'd rather have Ryan Tannehill than Ben right now.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Ryan Tannehill
Neither
guy.
am I, and that's why I'm saying it.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Roethlisberger thing is a conundrum, I think. He's, I think, probably had more bad games than good ones at this point. Still a lot of football left. It is still a new offense for him with that inexperienced offensive line. But the thing that scares me is last year, he got worse as the season went on. And I think that's the arthritis. I think that's all the hits that you take in an NFL season, even if you're not getting sacked 3 or 4 times a week. It's still physical. And so I'm just worried about that with Ben. How is he going to hold up in December when it's a longer season? You got to go an extra game this year.
You know what? We're going to take a break, but I want to ask you after the break, there's a couple quarterbacks that intrigue me maybe for next year that I would like the Steelers go out and potentially sign. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll answer that question, and we'll hear from you guys coming up next. 412-575-2600 is the number. Stay right there.